Do you ever feel somebody's watching you? You can feel their killing inside while they are criticizing you. Scrutinize every little detail about you. How you walk, how you talk, how you express yourself, or even how you love. In that exact moment, your entire existence feels wrong. That type of human being have developed that tiny but dangerous toxin called unrequirement opinion that got stuck in your ear and stays in your brain during minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, or even your entire life. Today, I'm going to talk about something that all people have, uniqueness, and how to be comfortable with yourself. Not the version that social media wants to sell you because and make you think that you need it. No, your own version. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be me. All expectations, bad comments, labels, and stereotypes claiming into me and increase the anxiety, and it's harder to breathe, and it gets harder and harder and harder, and it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. No, nothing, it's fine. Wake up and smell roses. Defend yourself. Make an action. Don't stand like a statue where they are criticizing you, they are throwing garbage in your direction. Society needs to change. But many people think that youth is the one who can make the change. I don't agree with that. Because how do you expect that youth make a change that other generations didn't do it? They put all the responsibility in that little generation and gets anxiety, depression, and other mental illness. Yes. And guess what? They don't respect each other. To make a real change, we need to accept all people with all uniqueness. All I just said, it's a contradiction. And you will ask why? Because the information that I also say, it's cold, warm, left, right, yellow, green, butterfly wings. Wait, what? Do you know that the butterfly wings have a unique pattern? It doesn't matter it's the same species. They all have the same, they have unique pattern. And we need to respect that. Not in Mexico, because in Mexico is considered one of the most diverse countries in all around the world, but also is one of the most insecure and violent that you can live. Why I say that? Because only in 2021 they were killed 15 periodists and activists. The only crime that make was raise their voice. And in the 2 months of 2022, they were killed other 6 more. So, to finish this speech, I want to make a reflection. Do you really respect the others, or you only making an assumption and don't want to make us fly like butterflies? My name is Diego Alejandro García Valdez. I'm from Saltillo, Coahuila, in the northern Mexico. I study in Educativa Saltillo. I'm a unique person, and I want to ask you a single question that can make a difference. Do you really want to live your entire life pretending, or you will be unique?
We fail, we break, and we fail, but also we rinse, we heal, and we overcome. Hi, my name is Renata Castro. I am from Villa Educativa de Saltillo, and I'm going to talk to you about a thing that makes me feel very uncomfortable sometimes. This is about how we can accept us. We know that in recent years, the increase of prejudices and standards that are difficult to achieve is causing that social acceptation is being broke by not fitting into the prototype that society have. This causes that many people starts to try to fit into the prototype of beauty that society have. And sometimes they have been reaching extremes. The increase of the thinking, this is the prejudices, is affecting more young population and women, but also affects men, boys, and even the old persons. According with the Secretary of Public Health, these cases increased 64% between 2014 and 2018, being 84% of the cases of the female gender. This not only affects your body, it affects your mind and the way you see things. Can affect your ideas, like first you think something is correct, then you think isn't. So we can here starts the what will people say. This is not only for not fitting into the prototype, it is for your the way you act, the way you be, and how you dress or you think. The depression, traumas, stress, bad eating habits, and even to cut yourself, and even the suicide are the consequence that this problem is causing. This is not only, like Avi said, this is not only for the prototype, it's for the way you are. We know that in recent years, this is affecting more because they start to think that one only thing is correctly, like you need to fit or you need to try to be like another person, but this is bad. So because when you try to do it, you can hurt yourself and you will make more damage. This is a problem that is easy to solve it, but it can be more difficult with the pass of the time, and to confront it and solve it, we will need to have the help with other persons, not only the affected person. We need a specialist that can help us to feel comfortable with ourselves. To help a person, we need to know how much damage have their own thinkings and how much help will be received by the affected person, so we can help it, because not all ways that we want to do it will help him. This depends of who is the person in total. So the one I personally think that it's better for us is the way to express yourself. Not only your thinkings, it's like you like one thing to how you dress like that, is to express yourself openly. But how you express yourself without fear that you can be hurt. This can be, firstly, we need to know your own tastes, the things you like, the things you dislike, and feel comfortable with it. Because if you want to be in the place of another person, or you want to try to something likes you, it will be bad, because you start to feel different. You start to feel that you need to be like that person. Second, don't worry about what people say. You need to have your own ideas and not have a person to compare it or have auto-criticism of yourself. You need to not fantasy with your perfect life, perfect body, etc. Because if you have this person to compare, to imitate, or a person or fantasy and auto-critic, you start to compare yourself with these things, and you only will see the bad things you have. So this starts to make you more damage. I always say that we need to be free and unique. So remember, be free, unique, and incomparable. Never tie yourself to ideas you don't like, so you can be free and respect your rights and freedoms, not only for you, for other persons, and try to be yourself. Not all storms come to distribute your life, some come to clear your path.
Hi, my name is Raquel Montserrat Santos Lopez and I'm from the School of Educativa de Saltillo. Find harmony is something that sounds very easy, but it doesn't. We're just passing difficult times. And for some people, the pandemic affects them so hard, and not just in economic way. It's hard to be at home with nobody than your family or just you. And it's difficult because you want to go outside, but you can't, or you want to go to a restaurant and spend time with your family, partner, friends, or just with yourself, but you can't. And if you're passing something bad right now, let me tell you that you are going to get over this. And I'm going to tell you a story. And some things that you can do. Everything started on March of 2020. Her life was completely normal. Well, that's something that she used to think. Because when this pandemic started, she realized that nothing in her life was completely normal. Because she was doing what everyone wants and not what she wanted to do. Then she decided to take a break. And in that break, she got worse. Because she was trying to go away from everyone. She closed herself off the world. Then she realized that she needed help after she got her first anxiety attack. She was depressed, had eating disorder, exhausted. Then she decided to find help, because she asked herself a simple question: what she was doing with her life. She was doing some horrible things. Then she find help. But she went to a psychologist, but she was not too comfortable to talk to a stranger. Then she received some tips. She started doing breathing exercise. Now she's still fighting, but she's so much better than in that time. And this is a true story. This is my story. Depression and anxiety, it's not something funny, and having it is something hard and difficult, because you think that you are alone, that no one comprehends you, or that no one can help you. But it's not like that, because right now there are too many ways to find help, like relax exercise, breathing exercise, yoga, listen to music, talk to some special friend, or groups of help. But if you don't want to go out of that bubble, well, that's your fault, because you don't want to go out. You don't want to be in the next part of your life, to continue your life, to be in harmony. So that's why I'm talking about depression and anxiety. So you have the choice to go out of that horrible bubble of depression and anxiety. Thank you.
Intelligence and cunning together. Hi, my name is Rebecca. I study at Educativa de Saltillo in Mexico. Hunger drives the wolf out the forest. German proverb. In the world there are many types of animals, from the smallest insect to the largest, but not all of them are smart or have intelligence, speed, and natural beauty. Today I talk to you about wolves in the past, wolves to dogs, and wolves and humans. In the past, wolves were seen as hunting animals to take their things or their skins or with food. These animals are dangerous, fierce, but these are one of the most respected and admired by man, thanks for their leadership capacity. That is according to Lobos, writing by NGO. Did you listen in the quote that says, wolves are the ancestors of dogs? That is real. The nomination of wolf are Canis lupus lupus, and the dog are Canis lupus familiaris. Dr. Olaf Talam of the University of Turku in Finland was based in comparison of mitochondria, DNA, and that demonstrates so 18,000 years ago wolves are domestic in Europe. Now, where was the humans here? The cattle was the food of wolves and the humans. But the wolves hunting the cattle, if we reserve a portion for them, they have food and we have roast beef. That is important for the balance of species. And one example was the park Yellowstone in USA. They have a more population of deers, and when wolves go for that place, they control the population and attract more species. In real life, wolves will do anything to avoid contact with mankind.
I wonder why I feel I'm on top of the moon. No, it's because of you. That right there is but a single lyric of a song I've listened to countless times. And let me tell you, it has never ever gotten old. Although it might sound bland or meaningless to you, I'm sure that you'll soon find a song that's as empowering as this one is to myself. Over the past few years, I've explored thousands of music genres, since I'm the kind of person that can't do anything unless there's some sort of background noise. So I searched and searched and searched and searched for years, you could say, until I found the one, which is classified as escapism. Now, you might be asking yourself, why all of this exposition dump? Well, because today I'm going to try my hardest, give you everything I have so that maybe, just maybe, you listen, and you might just save yourself. First of all, why did I turn to escapism? Well, because me, personally, I listen to things depending on how I feel. If I'm happy, I'll listen to upbeat songs. But if I'm sad, on the other hand, I'll listen to depressing songs. It's as simple as that. But you might be asking yourself, again, I know, a lot of questions. Why would I even go to such a dark place? Well, because when I listen to escapism, I feel comforted and glad the person singing has suffered so much, but yet overcame it and became stronger. Let me give you one of my examples. I remember that in early 2021, one of my brothers was developing a small but growing addiction, and my parents quickly sent him to rehab for more than 3 months. I did what I think any other person would have done, which is blame themselves, call themselves stupid for failing to take action with such time. Like, the problem was right in front of me all this time, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do anything about it. Those thoughts revolved around my head for weeks on end. They only stopped once I dived back into my playlist and started listening to some wonderful artists, quickly noticing that they spoke out about their troubles, about all their problems in their life, and it gave them the chance to let go of their negative thoughts. That's when it hit me. I shouldn't be blaming myself for something that, at the end of the day, was out of my control. So I learned to comprehend the emotions I was experiencing and overcome them. So now, if I, an emotional dorky, clumsy 14-year-old emotional teenager could overcome a difficult situation, why can't you? Get into the mindset, start really listening to your favorite artists, to your favorite songs, and reflect. Find peace even if it's for a single minute. And well, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you do that, well, thank you. You don't have to listen to my words because this isn't for everyone. It never is. But if I even managed to move you at least slightly, then thank you. You gave meaning to my otherwise meaningless words. At the end of the day though, thank yourself. You're the one that makes this possible. I wonder why I feel I'm on top of the moon. No, it's because of you. That right there is but a single lyric of a song I've listened to countless times. And let me tell you, it has never ever gotten old. Although it might sound bland or meaningless to you, I'm sure that you'll soon find a song that's as empowering as this one is to myself. Over the past few years, I've explored thousands of music genres, since I'm the kind of person that can't do anything unless there's some sort of background noise. So I searched and searched and searched and searched for years, you could say, until I found the one, which is classified as escapism. Now, you might be asking yourself, why all of this exposition dump? Well, because today I'm going to try my hardest, give you everything I have so that maybe, just maybe, you listen, and you might just save yourself. First of all, why did I turn to escapism? Well, because me, personally, I listen to things depending on how I feel. If I'm happy, I'll listen to upbeat songs. But if I'm sad, on the other hand, I'll listen to depressing songs. It's as simple as that. But you might be asking yourself, again, I know, a lot of questions. Why would I even go to such a dark place? Well, because when I listen to escapism, I feel comforted and glad the person singing has suffered so much, but yet overcame it and became stronger. Let me give you one of my examples. I remember that in early 2021, one of my brothers was developing a small but growing addiction, and my parents quickly sent him to rehab for more than 3 months. I did what I think any other person would have done, which is blame themselves, call themselves stupid for failing to take action with such time. Like, the problem was right in front of me all this time, and I couldn't do anything about it. Those thoughts revolved around my head for weeks on end. They only stopped once I dived back into my playlist and started listening to some wonderful artists, quickly noticing that they spoke out about their troubles, about all their problems in their life, and it gave them the chance to let go of their negative thoughts. That's when it hit me. I shouldn't be blaming myself for something that, at the end of the day, was out of my control. So I learned to comprehend the emotions I was experiencing and overcome them. So now, if I, an emotional, dorky, clumsy 14-year-old emotional teenager, could overcome a difficult situation, why can't you? Get into the mindset, start really listening to your favorite artists, to your favorite songs, and reflect. Find peace even if it's for a single minute. And well, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you do that, well, thank you. You don't have to listen to my words because this isn't for everyone. It never is. But if I even managed to move you at least slightly, then thank you. You gave meaning to my otherwise meaningless words. At the end of the day though, thank yourself. You're the one that makes this possible.
A new life with the pandemic. The mind is like a parachute. Its only work affects
open. Albert Einstein. Hello everyone, my name is Dania Canizales. I'm from Villa Educativa de Saltillo. In the world, the people already lost a lot of pandemics, like the Spanish flu or the Black Plague. But one of the most important that we are living right now is the COVID-19, and is what I'm going to talk about. In the next minutes, I'm going to tell you how the adolescents are experiencing the pandemic and some advantages and disadvantages. First, how the adolescents are experiencing the pandemic. The adolescents are now living the pandemic in a very positive way, but we need to stay in harmony. One important thing is that we are so really worried about that because we are only in an electronic device and we cannot go out to a cinema or to a shopping center. Another important point is the online classes that start in March of 2020 when our teachers told to our parents that we need to start taking classes in our home. Taking classes in our home is so really hard because it's a new life or it's a new thing that we start doing. We have our advantages and disadvantages, but first I'm going to tell you the disadvantages. We miss a lot the school because we're taking the online classes. In the online classes, we distracted a lot with our electronic device, with our cell phone or with our computer, in TikTok or Instagram. Another important point is like the internet failed a lot. We didn't paying attention or we didn't understand the things. But we have two or advantages that are that we pass more time with our family. We value more the time that we stay with our loved ones, like for example with our family or with our friends, because during this pandemic we cannot meeting with that loved ones. We can learn a new idiom or we can read a lot of books because we had a lot of free time. In these minutes I told you how the adolescents are experiencing the pandemic and some advantages and disadvantages. And remember, excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude.
Hello, my name is Ariadne Manzillas Muniz and I study in Villa Educativa de Saltillo in Mexico. To start my speech, I'm going to ask you a question. What would happen if nobody had harmony as one of their principles or values? I will say that we will not live in peace and tranquility. There only will be fights, wars, or disagreements. For me, harmony is one of the less known values and the less spreading people, knowing that it's a value of great importance in everyone's life. That's why I want to talk to you and tell you about how can I invite everybody to reach harmony, how harmony could help in yourself, and how harmony could help the people of the world to be happier. Before, I used to be very negative. I didn't have any patience and I used to get angry for everything. One day a friend told me about harmony and I started to think and I saw how harmony could help me to be more positive, to not get angry, to be more patient and more balanced. I started to change my daily routine. The first thing that I did that personally helped me most was to express my feelings and listen to the feelings of the others. Then I started to meditating. It was not easy at first, but not impossible. Um, doing this helped me to feel better and more calm. Um, so I start So I started to make my mind that every time that I saw someone sad or angry, I will ask them how they feel. This exercise was for them to feel better and have inner peace. According to Mayo Clinic's, meditation can give us a sense of calm, inner peace, and balance that can benefit both of our emotional well-being and overall health. Mm, and overall health. These benefits don't end when your meditation session ends. They have a lasting effect. What I want to achieve with this speech is to let people know how the world could be if we lived in harmony. So wars will not take place. We'll be able to live as one global. So we'll be able to live as one global community. I would like to invite you to live and share this moral value, make it more known and installed in people. Show it how it can strengthen your inner peace. This world belongs to all of us, and we should be able to live with respect and harmony, which can change the perspective of how you see the world and the people.
Are we studying to have a successful life, or are we living to study? Many people will think that school is just a place to study and work. Yes, but it is also a place to socialize, develop brilliant and creative minds and other abilities. And actually, this has decreased because of pressure and stress in students due to bad education, pressure by parents, and excessive homework. Imagine a world with closed minds, students acting like robots, students not learning in an appropriate way. I know that education is a weapon to get through the problems in the world. And if education don't permit us to express ourselves, how the world will be in the future? My name is Natalia Melendez Cáceres. I study in Villa Educativa Saltillo here in Mexico. And today I'm going to talk about the causes and consequences of stressing students and what I do to be in peace with myself. In all my years as a student, I noticed that one cause of stressing students is the bad education transmitted by most schools. Because today schools teach us to memorize, not to think. In mathematics, you only need to memorize multiplications. In geography, instead of memorizing the countries and the rivers, why not sing by yourself? And history is the government's way of telling you things that makes them look like the good guys in the movie. School is the opposite of education because education comes through experience in life. According to the director of the National Central Thinking, Robert Schwartz, say that the human progress depends on the critical thinking. We are living in an educative system where the thing is to copy everything and then memorize all the time. That's why most of us don't like to go to school. They don't permit us to choose. They are limiting us to just learning one way. They are turning us off. They don't give us the opportunity to do what we are passionate about. In Spain, there is a 30% of school dropout. In some sites of the United States, is a 75%. If we were thought different, school would be a place we would like to be. The second cause is pressure by parents. Why? Someone with I agree said, the grade 10 has become the adoration for parents. Therefore, students begin to get stressed about getting that grade. So they start cheating, including buying exams. There is a lack of values because nobody teaches that a honest 5 is better than a dishonest 10. Parents are convinced that their children will perform better if they are very demanding. If instead of congratulating them on what they have already achieved, they highlight what they still have pending. And the last one is the World Health Organization said that excessive homework is a consequence of stress and anxiety. Stress of homework don't allow me to do what I would like to do. The situation that this has generated to me is anxiety, I don't do exercise or outdoor activities, and I really don't sleep well. So, to be in peace with myself, what I do is listen music and I go to art class, something relaxing.
So what I recommend to do is just stop whatever you're doing and do something that you like to do. After analyzing all this is where I wonder, are they really preparing us for real life? I like to go to school, but sometimes I feel that I don't have life. So, to have a better education, first, students need to be interested to go to school and to learn. The objective are not the grades. It's the happiness from an exciting life that incorporates laboral abilities, capacity to reason, and personal capacities. Teach things that today are important, like business. We live in a world ruled by business, robotics and programming, leadership, taxes, calculation, exercise, health eating, art, social skills, ecology, and public speaking. Second, teach through practice things that motivate us, like what parents do teaching their children how to talk. They don't tell them how coordinates and subordinates are formed. They don't tell them what is an adjective or a verb. They simply talk to them, correct them. That's education. And the last one is the human told mental counselor Amy Can recommends not to eliminate homework, eliminate the work that students don't need. Education is one of the most important things in life. And with stressing students, the world will not progress. So let's start changing the educative system in schools. Just like Nelson Mandela said, education is one of the most powerful weapons we can use to change the world.
Recently, the artificial intelligence are making it into every corner of the world. But this doesn't mean that the future or the society will soon turn into a science fiction movie about the AI versus the humanity. Because this won't happen, because the future will be like to be in one world in which humans and AI will live in harmony, using each other's strengths to make a better world. Hi, my name is Francisco David, and I'm from Saltillo, Coahuila, Mexico, in the School of Villa Educativa de Saltillo. Well, part of the future is already here. We have the technologies like Alexa, Siri, and self-driving cars that are just examples of what is here. So, what can we see now? And how can AI technologies help us with our future? I want for my Mexico and my world a better future starting right now. Being as the path of the development of the new technologies of the AI. But in Mexico we can go further because we don't have large investigation groups, said the CONACYT principal. We just have two very little investigation groups, one from the CONACYT and another from the UNAM. Mexico is in top 36 within other countries in the world with only 16 points. We need AI in Mexico to help us solving our problems and to, most importantly, to help the world and the planet keeping safe the nature. Well, now in Mexico we see the AI like another problem solver for repetitive tasks and luxury cars with more than 15 million colors. The principle of data and analysis says we don't have really big investigation projects for AI because we see like another solution among all our problems. We don't need to be like this. We can be the development of the AI technologies in Mexico. But if we're going to get these technologies to save or to solve our daily growing problems, it won't do any change because they keep growing more and more every day. For that, we need to change our self-destructive temperament. And how can we do that? First, we need to be at the right path, taking the good attitude. That is, don't compare yourself with others. Accept you are imperfect. The others aren't perfect. When you more complain yourself, the less destructive you will be. That means respect everyone and don't bother others. Mexicans are distinguished by our joy and warmth and solidarity. We need to keep it like this. We need to be better persons. The robots are here and they are coming. But this doesn't mean the world is headed to a bleak future. Instead, we need to see AI. We don't need to see AI like a problem. We should see it like a new solution for problems. Transformers of the present, creators of the future.
Never do wrong things to make a friend or keep one. Robert Lee. Hello, my name is Kylie Isaacs Puente. I am from Villa Educativa de Saltillo of Mexico. At the school, there are many things, like the cafeteria, recess, and the teachers. But I am going to talk about a very important topic at the school, that is the bullying. There are many types of bullying, but I am going to talk about of three: the physical violence, the verbal violence, and the psychological violence. The physical violence consists that the person who does the bullying act with violence and fight with a person. The verbal violence consists that the person who does the bullying act by saying bad words to a person so the person can feel bad. The physical violence consists that the person who does the bullying act by saying bad words to a person so the person stays in silence. The consequence will not only affect the education community, but also affect all the society in general, with issues such as low self-esteem, passive action, as well as comment can harm other people's feelings. And those are just some of the consequences of the bullying. How we can solve it? You can also talk to the children, tell an adult what's happening at the school, and if you see something, act by trying to stop or get for help. A few moments ago, I was talking to you about what is bullying about, what are the types of bullying, what are the consequences, and how to solve it. And I came to talk about this issue so that no one stays in silence. And if we know someone who is through this situation, help them to trust them and talk to an adult. And we have to work together to be all in harmony. So let's be more aware of what we do with other people, because if they did the same to you, you will not like it. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt.
The new humanity shields. A needle, a little needle, who have helped the world many times. Well, the craziest thing is that we are vaccinating the illness that we are preventing for. If you want to hear more about this crazy discovery, open your ears, because today I'm going to talk about the vaccines. The vaccine. The vaccine started in the 18th century by Edward Jenner. He was a crazy scientific searching the smallpox vaccine. He just looked about some farmers who were working with ill cows of cowpox. Also, the farmers were ill of smallpox, but they have weaker symptoms. That was like a normal flu for them. Then that he realized that, he tried with blood of ill cows. He just have a needle, he put the blood into the needle and inject his gardener and his gardener's son. It wasn't an ethical reason to do it, but
hopefully it works. He didn't care about nothing. He just have discovered the vaccines. This crazy discovery had helped the world avoiding pandemics and controlling them. That's why we need to vaccine. Any corporation or government will control us. We are avoiding deaths. Imagine that your dearest person died about something he could control it. It could be heartbreak because you know that he could control that. That's why we need to take conscious of this. Today, I'm thankful because we are changing the world in a positive way, like Edward do with his vaccine, or like today we are doing vaccinating ourselves. What doesn't kill us make us strong. The new humanity shields, a needle, a little needle, who have helped the world many times. Well, the craziest thing is that we are vaccinating the illness that we are preventing for. If you want to hear more about this crazy discovery, open your ears, because today I'm going to talk about the vaccines. The vaccine. The vaccine started in the 18th century by Edward Jenner. He was a crazy scientific searching the smallpox vaccine. He just looked about some farmers who were working with ill cows of cowpox. Also, the farmers were ill of smallpox, but they have weaker symptoms. That was like a normal flu for them. Then that he realized that, he tried with blood of ill cows. He just have a needle, he put the blood into the needle and inject his gardener and his gardener's son. It wasn't an ethical reason to do it, but hopefully it works. He didn't care about nothing. He just have discovered the vaccines. This crazy discovery had helped the world avoiding pandemics and controlling them. That's why we need to vaccine. Any corporation or government will control us. We are avoiding deaths. Imagine that your dearest person died about something he could control it. It could be heartbreak because you know that he could control that. That's why we need to take conscious of this. Today, I'm thankful because we are changing the world in a positive way, like Edward do with his vaccine, or like today we are doing vaccinating ourselves. What doesn't kill us make us strong.
Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. I'm Camila Lopez Hernandez. I'm from Villa Educativa de Saltillo, and today I'm going to talk about relationships or the interaction with people. People are so complicated that most of us don't really understand our feelings or thoughts half of the time, and we all try to get along and have a connection. But when I talk about relationships, I'm talking about any type of interaction with people, friends, family, colleagues, partners, and a term that everyone is familiar with are the red flags. And what are the red flags? Well, it's when you don't trust someone, or an example of it could be like that person cheats on everyone they've been with, red flag. That person only uses persons for their personal benefit, red flag. That person doesn't wipe off the knife like when they are spreading butter on toast and when they go for more butter, little crumbs get stuck on the pot. Red flag. But what about the red flags that only start revealing themselves once you build trust and connection? And you will start thinking, oh wow, they are a good person. I mean, they won't want to hurt me on purpose. It's not easy to rationalize that, and because of that, toxic relationships could be really common. Another term is the manipulation, and a fantasy or something that it in the cartoons is shown is like the manipulation is like Chad and Sally are dating. Sally wants to go out with friends, but Chad doesn't want Sally to go out. Chad is a manipulator. But realistically, Chad will start nitpicking something that don't like of Sally's friends, and will start saying to Sally, "I don't like how Nick talks to other girls. It's kind of weird. Don't you think that Amanda drinks too much? That's not responsible for her." That little implant, makes Sally trust Chad more, and then Chad successfully isolated Sally for her friends and has more control of their actions or emotions. And something that is really common too is when they talk about us about drugs. In school, always is brainwashed that drugs are awful, and we understand it. And the cartoon thing, it could be like you're at a party, lights are blaring, and someone comes up to you and like it goes like, "Hey kid, you wanna do a drug?" Boom! The time slows down, the cigarette is blowing with evil energy. You look up and all of a sudden it's grown horns and fangs, and oh my god, it's Satan! No, that's not how it happens. Realistically, you will be a small get-together with close friends and just have a nice night talking and laughing, and just once gets like, "Hey, I got Coke." There's no time slows, and all of a sudden your brain is confused. It's like, drugs are bad, but this is my friend we've known since 5th grade. He's a normal dude. Are my other friends gonna do it? Another type of manipulation will be the emotional blackmail. That is a type of manipulation that uses fear, obligation, and guilt. It will be like if someone comes up with you and is like, "Do this or I hurt you," or "Do this or I hurt myself," and that leaves you in a difficult situation because you care about them. If someone just goes like, "I'm pathetic, you should leave me, I'm just gonna hurt myself," that you start thinking that there's a responsibility to you because you care about them and you want them to be happy. But you can care all of that, and this is a hard pill you need to swallow. You are not responsible for anyone's happiness, but they are really sad and don't have a good emotion. So I just start thinking you're not responsible for anyone's happiness, and that's a really important pill you need to swallow. Please, just do it. So your head just start thinking of things that they are positive of. You need to really get that you that you can just take that responsibility, and that's really important. If you want to help that person, tell them to go to see a professional, because those people are specialized to do that. You can start about having a relation, and when the things don't go out right, that person just needs time to think about it and think about some things like why the relationship didn't work, because they just ask for many favors or money and they just don't pay back, or you feel that you can't do any decision or talk clearly or free with them. So you can just start thinking to cut the relationship or try to fix it. It's like an example of it. It could be like, "Hey, dude, you're dropping many toxic things in my ocean, and my little dolphins are dying. oh, sorry, how can I help you? How can I help you to be better? Not only that person takes the responsibility, it knows that it's have a problem. But if the person is like, hey, how am I supposed to know? Why are you so angry of it? That's really toxic situation. And if the things don't work, just get it out of your world. It's like if you have a little ecosystem, and if someone else has problems, you need to talk about them. And no, you can't just you just can't left your ecosystem, because who's gonna watch for it? No one, because that's your responsibility. So you should treat you well and have a nice ecosystem, and you deserve fresh air. Oh, I gotta go. I have someone to be.
It's not the strongest, the fastest, or intelligence. It's the adaptable. Hi, my name is Carlos Alexander Esquivel from Villa Educativa de Saltillo. I'm here to tell you about artificial intelligence, or AIs. Do you ever wish to have a personal assistant? Someone is with you every time what you need it? Well, I maybe have the solution. First, I'm gonna tell you about the artificial intelligence during the pandemic, the artificial intelligence now in this moment, and the artificial intelligence for the future. Well, the artificial intelligence in the pandemic, I think, was more for all people, because all people are not familiarized using a phone. But I know it can be a little complicated to configure the AI, but I think that the son is who brought the AI in first moment, and it's more easy to say, I want you to call that person that using a phone. I know this because I have a grandmother that have Alexa, because she doesn't she's not familiarized with using a phone. So one time she had an accident, and she say out loud she want to call the 911, and they bring up ambulance and all. Now the AIs right now are a little limited. I don't think they are on their full potential, because they can turn the shovel, the lights, the climate, and more, and a little bit more. But they cannot drive cars or make you the food. That's what I'm talking the next thing. I think how much you can explode the potential of ES right now is to have a smart house, but it's too expensive to have one, because you have to buy the EA, the lights, the shovel, and it have to be electric. Now, the ES for the future. I think that the ES for the future will have maybe the full potential, because Elon Musk is doing something like smart cards. Smart cards are controlled with artificial intelligence that makes them to move to a way or another. And Elon Musk is doing a kind of robot that have the shape of a human. I think if that artificial intelligence, is for a little bit not too expensive, it can make you the food or can drive your car, because you can say, I don't know, I want to go to some part, I want to go to Monterrey, and you don't know how to go to Monterrey or some part of Monterrey. You can say, I want you to drive to Monterrey and that part, and the IA will do the work that you don't have to do. Now, for the IAs that are like robots, I think with the correct limitations will not happen like the movies, that Terminator and more, because that's a movie precisely, and will not happen. I think the robot IA will do the part of assistant, now a real assistant that can make you food, wash your, well, maybe you can wash your clothes and more, because I know there are some people and don't like to do that. For example, my dad. My dad don't want to do that. I too, he likes to cook, but my mother doesn't like to cook. That's a little bit usual, but it's how it works in my house. But the IA will make the food and even will make it better, because the IA will take the recipes of mondial cookers and will do it as it says, not doing something more or something less. I tell this with the purpose to informate and to you to know more about these things, because I think it will be a new harmony with this artificial intelligence.
Have you ever known someone who is slowly dying from a stick? Yes, you heard me right, a stick. But it isn't any kind of stick that you find on the ground. It's the kind of stick people use to smoke. My name is Liv, and I study in Villa Educativa de Saltillo in Mexico. Maybe some of you have been wondering why I chose this topic. Mainly because somebody I know smokes, but I'll talk about that later. One of the reasons to why people smoke is because their close friends are manipulating them into smoking, which, since they trust them so much, they actually take the cigarette, even though they don't know that it'll affect them for life. As I said earlier, millions of people pick up smoking, which could cause them lung cancer. But then they could also get addicted. But how does an addiction start? It's simple. The cigarette activates nicotine receptors into the brain, which could cause an addiction. So now you know how an addiction starts. But how do you stop an addiction? Really simple. Just as simple as how an addiction starts. You could ask your doctor for nicotine replacement therapy, or if you don't want to do that, you could practice relaxation techniques to avoid triggers. Now, somebody that I know smokes. Because of smoking for so long, he's been coughing almost every morning in a very exaggerated way that sometimes I get confused with smoking or coughing or throwing up, which that is another example of a symptom you could get because of smoking. Did you know that if you smoke when you have COVID, the infection will get even worse than how it already is? It could get so bad you could die. So, you better watch out for that. People are not only losing adult members because of smoking, but so are they losing young teenagers. Why, you might be wondering? Because those teenagers' parents are probably very busy, very concentrated on other stuff, or they could never be paying attention to them. So because of never paying attention to them, well, the kids don't get any guidance to know what's right or wrong, to know what's safe or dangerous. So, if they smoke, then they won't know the symptoms they'll get from smoking, which could cause them to have a very, very serious sickness or something worse, like death, for example. So, what you could do is try to stop these families from losing any more members and try to convince these kids to not smoke. Or neither should they take any drugs or anything related to that. So, if you help them, you're not only helping me, you, but also everyone around you and everyone you don't know and everyone you love. Help build a new harmony for this world. Thank you.
In nature, there are no rewards or punishments. There are consequences. Robert Greene. Hello, my name is Kelly Isaacs Puente. I am from Villa Educativa de Saltillo. In the world, there are many wonderful things, such as animals and plants, but I am going to talk about a very important topic in the world, which is the pollution. There are several types of contamination, such as air pollution, the water pollution, and the contamination of the air. The air pollution. Also, it is called environmental pollution and is not visible. The water pollution. The planet continually reminds us with increasing extreme droughts that without water there is no life. The resource is essential not only for all living beings but also for regulating the temperature of the earth. The contamination of the earth. The earth has the capacity to regenerate itself and clean the waste that ends up in it. Before humans beings existed, organisms such as plants and animals already produced waste, and the earth was able to process it. One example nowadays is the face mask that we still use for the pandemic, and this is disposable and create more contamination in every place. How can we solve these problems? Recycling, reduce the plastic, use recyclable bags, no littering, and reduce the use of water and electricity. And all of this is important to prevent this so we can live in harmony with our planet. And I came to talk to you about this topic to create awareness and not pollute our planet so much, because little by little we are running out and there is a lot of ignorance among us. What are you willing to do to stop harming our planet? Don't just think about it, do something. In nature, there are no rewards or punishments. There are consequences. Robert Greene. Hello, my name is Kelly Isaacs Puente. I am from Villa Educativa de Saltillo. In the world, there are many wonderful things, such as animals and plants, but I am going to talk about a very important topic in the world, which is the pollution. There are several types of contamination, such as air pollution, the water pollution, and the contamination of the earth. The air pollution. Also, it is called environmental pollution and is not visible. The water pollution. The planet continually reminds us with increasing extreme droughts that without water there is no life. The resource is essential not only for all living beings but also for regulating the temperature of the earth. The contamination of the earth. The earth has the capacity to regenerate itself and clean the waste that ends up in it. Before humans beings existed, organisms such as plants and animals already produced waste, and the earth was able to process it. One example nowadays is the face mask that we still use for the pandemic, and this is disposable and create more contamination in every place. How can we solve these problems? Recycling, reduce the plastic,
use recyclable bags, no littering, and reduce the use of water and electricity. And all of this is important to prevent this so we can live in harmony with our planet. And I came to talk to you about this topic to create awareness and not pollute our planet so much, because little by little we are running out and there is a lot of ignorance among us. What are you willing to do to stop harming our planet? Don't just think about it, do something.
The war is organized crime and the torture against of your brothers. Alfred Adler. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patricio Cuforzan Sanchez, and I am studying from Villa Educativa de Saltillo, and today in my speech I will talk about the negative impact of crime for the people and countries in general. First, this affects to the country. The answer is yes. But first we must emphasize some points, that is the economical crisis and the rate of employment that affects to the economic or from much families in general. And then I will tell you some data from countries that have most crime, that is Afghanistan, Venezuela, South Africa, Iraq, Pakistan, Mexico, and Ukraine. And Ukraine is in the top right now, because in the war we have a war between Russia and Ukraine, that we must emphasize the World War III. And then I will tell you some kind of crime, that is the homicide, the normal assault, the assault with injuries, the assault that refers to some kind of less harm to another person, the homicide and murder. And now we finish this part, and we go to the final part of the speech, that is how we stop crime. Well, this question is so difficult to answer, because the crime we have in all the world, and this is it's impossible to do it. But the human, we can do the campaigns, protest that helps to another person, and all the people in general in the country, for the world. And the chastity is a crime against your brothers. Terence Mike. Finish.
What was the most common problem during the pandemic? I am Fernanda, and I study in Villa Educativa de Saltillo in Mexico. Today I will talk to you about a problem that was part of many adolescents during the pandemic: the control of emotions. Many teens use this problem to gain popularity, but the problems that they have sometimes are fake. Meanwhile, others are really having these problems. The ones that are doing this for attention are making that the people don't believe on the ones that really have it. I used to have a friend. She told me that she didn't know how to feel happy, to feel sad, or to feel angry with her own, because she didn't know herself. When she talked with her parents, they say to her that it was not the biggest problem in the world. She was overacting the situation, and she just have to calm down with herself. And she told me that I have to be okay with my own, because if I'm not okay with my own, I can't be okay with the others that are around me. She take a time for her to listen her own talks, and it's like a little builder that you have inside of you. He looks at the problem and then he fixes it. But how can he fix it? You have to notice that you have the problem, because if you don't want to notice that you have the problem and you say, no, I'm okay, I don't have nothing, you will be as the same the rest of your life. And if you really want to help yourself, you will be like, okay, I want to solve it, but how can I solve it? Only talk to me. Okay, this don't like me, and I want to know myself, because if I don't know myself, how can I help me? And then she told me that, okay, but I want your help, because I can't do it alone. And I was like, okay, I will be for you. And then she solved it. She just get out of that phase. And when she solved that problem, she can help others, because now that she knows the problem, she knows how to solve it. No, so she go with others and said, okay, this happened to me, now I can say you what you can do to help you. And keep going, and remember, keep going. Everything you need will come to you at the perfect time. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Esteban Sanchez. I am from Saltillo, Coahuila, Mexico. I am studying in Villa Educativa de Saltillo. In the world, many things changed with the pandemic of COVID-19. Like, we don't visit our family members, we couldn't go to certain places, and the classes changed to virtual. Today, I will talk you some advantages and disadvantages of the virtual classes. On March 20 of 2020, the school sent us home. That news put my classmates and I very happy, because we don't have to wake up earlier and we can do the things that we want in our homes. But we feel nervous, because if we don't understand nothing in 5th or 6th grade, 7th grade will be very difficult. But some students were sad, because if we have virtual classes, they have to wake up earlier, we have to connect the class to the classes. But fortunately, we have virtual classes. That news put my classmates and I very happy, because we want to experience new things, like we connect to the classes, use a computer to send and receive our activities, and 7th grade will be easier. What disadvantages that online classes have? Distraction. Well, be honest. We sometimes distract easily watching videos or surfing on social networks, such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, etc. But we don't pay attention to the class and we don't understand anything. In exam, we sometimes cheat, having books or notebooks open, Google the question and Google give us the answer, and in the result we have a 10. My parents and the parents of my classmates were very happy, but we don't know anything. The biggest distraction is that the biggest disadvantages is that we have headaches and feel sick, because we pass too much time in front of an electronic device such as computer, telephone, tablet, and etc. The advantages. The advantages that the virtual classes have is that we can't eat when the teacher wasn't looking. We have done it on the side, and we take bites when the teacher wasn't looking. We can wear comfortable shoes. We can see our favorite show when we finish the activities, and we learn new things. In this minute, I talk you about the disadvantages and advantages that I have in the virtual classes. And if I can give you a piece of an advice, don't use these excuses or disadvantages in your classes. Take this as a chance to be a best of yourself. And remember that one of the greatest scientists of the world, Albert Einstein, said, "Great spirits always encounter violent opposition from mediocre mind." Thank you for your attention.
The most dangerous place is a dirty planet. Hello, my name is Nelly Martinez Velázquez. I study at Villa Educativa in Saltillo, Mexico. During the pandemic, changed our lives, like in the global warming, economy, and more. But now I'm going to talk about a problem that is affecting me and all of us: the water pollution. The water pollution is one of the biggest problems in the world. So I choose this to change people's mind about this problem and think that if we don't change, we're gonna die. In this age, people is not thinking what we're doing. We trash things at the streets like chemicals, plastics, or more. But why we do this? We want people dead, animals in danger, or destroy our planet. If the water is not clean, we have a disease like cholera or typhus. But why we don't clean it? So I want you to know that the amount that is thrown to the oceans are the most of sewage, air pollutants, maritime transportation, industrial waste, and litter. And all of this comes to the oceans and affects the aquatic animals. They can trap into plastics or be affected by petroleum, oils, or chemicals. I want you to know that things can change because, like in the COVID-19, in the pandemic, many people die, but in the way to see our planet, many animals and vegetation grow. Many animals stopped being in danger. They were more free to come, and they were more safe. I want you to know that things can change if we want to do it, like I say in the COVID-19. And I want you to take all of this and save our animals, our planet, and our water. We have to do the change we want to see in the world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Samantha Sertuche. I study in the School of Villa Educativa de Saltillo in Mexico.
and today I'm going to talk about how the social networks affects the teenagers of today. The social networks is something so amazing and entertaining. We can spend hours and hours seeing our phones without getting bored. But if there's something bad with this, of course that it is, because everybody knows that the things that are good had its bad side. The social networks is something to keep us in communication with our friends and our family. Nowadays, the internet and the social networks make our lives more easier, but there are people that the social networks have ruined their life. But today I'm going to focus on the teenagers, because I think that the more affected are them. The teenagers can suffer many things on the internet, since hacks or cyberbullying. And then, what comes after this? Insecurities and psychological problems. It could be anxiety or depression. The depression in teenagers is a serious mental health problem that causes a constant feeling of sadness and a loss of interest in doing different activities. And this affects the way the teenagers thinks, feels, and acts. The use of social networks is related with anxiety, depression, sleep difficulties, and self-image problems. There are too many cases where the teenagers suffer something like this, and this is too sad because nobody can feel what they are feeling. So that makes that the teenager feels sad and very alone. So please don't minimize these problems. You can say, oh, it's part of the adolescence, or come on, don't be dramatic. But I can tell you that this only makes worse the situation. So at least what we could do is support them, and don't say things like this to our sons, daughters, or students. This is very dangerous because if the teenager feels very bad, he could think that the solution is to take drugs, to drink alcohol, smoke, or even they could think in suicide. But what we can do? Well, what we can do is to talk with them to try to solve the problem. But also there are other solutions, because this isn't easy. You must be calm, be flexible, and need to put in their shoes. Other solutions that you can try, it's small things like meditation, make exercise, or just to do exercise to breathe in and out. But if this doesn't help, what you can do is to go to therapy, or just to talk with someone. It could be your friend or someone in your family that you have a lot of confidence. But you need to remember that you can keep quiet forever, since the situation will get worse and your stress could increase more and more. So keeping things in silence, it won't help you in nothing. You need to ask for help in any way. And remember that the only important thing is that you feel good about yourself.